Today we are discussing second chapter, 47th verse from the Bhagavad Gita. It is one of the most celebrated, most quoted, most learned, most chanted verse from the Gita, that we should do our duty and never be attached to result. Karmane evatikaaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbu ma te sangostu akarmani. So this is very important shloka from many different angles, from different perspective. We can see this verse, and Krishna's teaching is such a powerful and beautiful teachings that it applies to everybody at all times, and all shlokas can be understood from a lens which is very much unique to them. So even this shloka can give us many deeper meanings, which is very much relevant, which is very much alive for all of us in our present day situations. It says, Karmane eva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbur ma te sangosto karmani. There is some right we have, and there is some right we don't have. We have a right to perform our duty, so we have a right to perform our work. The misconception is whenever we do work, it has to translate into some results. And when the work does not translate into some result, we think we are a failure. When the work is not resulting into some appreciation from people, we think I've lost it. When my work is not resulting in some sort of a substantial, visible, tangible things, we feel we have lost it. I have not done it properly, or it should have been better. So, but what Krishna is saying here, you have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you're not entitled to the fruits of action. That's a very revolutionary idea. Krishna is saying work is not equal to result. We think if we work, result must come. And if it doesn't come, we become frustrated, we become depressed, we become dejected, we become disappointed, we lose the battle. But what is Krishna saying? No, work is not equal to result. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the result of your activities. And then in the next phrase, Krishna says, okay, you wants to translate your work into the result because you're thinking your work is the only factor which is contributing to success. But no, there are many factors which control success. We discussed last time about humility. The whole session was about that. We just control small portion of the entire result, what comes out. Our contribution is very minuscule in terms of we enjoying the result. So my contribution is, let's say, 1%. 99% is been arranged by unseen forces, by Krishna personally, by Krishna's nature. If 99% is been arranged by Krishna and he's in control, you just give your 1%, and that's how it all happens. So, interestingly, what happened? Little small story to share with all of you. I was in Vrindavan last this fall. I mean, the springtime around March, and when I was in Vrindavan, I was living in an apartment, and some of my relative happened to come to my place. They wanted to stay in Vrindavan, go to some visit some places and things like that. So we went to do the Vrindavan Parikrama about, it was 11 o'clock in the night, and by the time we came back, it was about 1:30. It became like at 2:30, around 2:30 in the morning time. We were very tired and we didn't eat anything, and they were very exhausted because it's about 11 kilometers of Vrindavan Parikrama. And when we came, we start asking if there is any food because we couldn't eat anything in the on the way. Then I didn't have the arrangement for cooking, but fortunately, last night I had purchased some ready-made food packets, And when I purchased those food packets, I just remembered, oh, I have gajar ka halwa food packet, I have sambar, I have idli, I have a chole, and I have rice. Like I had 4 or 5 packets like that. I put into hot water. Within 5 minutes, it was ready. And I didn't tell anybody because I was in the kitchen preparing something and brought it back. And everybody just liked it. And they started appreciating, oh, in 5 minutes, how could you cook like this? In 5 minutes, how could you make all these five items such a deliciously? Then I was thinking to myself, then I started feeling good about it. Oh, see, Hacha, although I knew it was like MTR packets, like ready-made food packets, it was there. I just had to do the last mile contribution. And I thought, yeah, I made it such a nice. I start taking the I started taking the benefit. I start thinking, oh, it is mine. It belongs to me. The result belongs to me. I made such a nicely. Then after the next second, I came to my sense. Oh, it was not me. I just added the hot water. How can I take all the things to myself on the credit to myself? It is not to my credit. It is to the credit of a person who made that in the factory. So now, just by adding the hot water, can I take the full credit, 100% credit, how the food came out such a quick time in such a delicious way? No, I cannot. Right? Similarly, in a similar sense, we just do the last mile service. We just add the one in front of 99 and it becomes 100. And we don't see where the 99 came from and we see, oh, it is 100 belongs to me. That's a thing what is actually Krishna saying here. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities and never be attached to not doing your duty. You may think, anyways, it is only I don't have to do anything because, anyways, the result is not coming because of my work. And because the result is not coming from my work, so what's the use of doing any activity? But what is Krishna saying? Not be attached of not doing your duty. The result will not come from your work, but at the same time, you should continue performing your work. In the same example, what I just shared, the small story, I can extend. I can say I will not put the hot water into the ready-made packets. So if I don't put the hot water into the ready-made packets, do you think I can enjoy the food? Do you think can I really make the food? Yeah, food is ready. Food is, but Prabhuji, you're the only one who brought them and made ready for them. Yes, that was my effort. That was my last mile service. That was my one addition to the 99 which is already been done. 99%, she's saying I should take the credit. Yeah, that's what we all generally do. We take the credit. But technically, if we analyze and technically, if we break it down, the company who made it and the person who gave me the money, I didn't have the money from of my own. Somebody gave me the money. I used somebody else's money and I purchased something which is made by somebody else. There was a gas, there was a hot water. That last mile contribution does not mean the whole result belongs to me. So Krishna says, if you think like this in the third chapter, you are a thief. You're a thief because you're taking somebody else's credit. So maybe we can discuss is a different topic altogether. We can discuss more about that. So what I'm trying to convey here is that although the result is not equal to my work, at the same time I should continue doing my work because that's important. My work has some value, and that is the unique contribution you are making in the whole supply chain to be able to bring that finished product out. But it is not only your effort. So now what happens is that is what Krishna is proposing, and that's what we should do. But what do we do? Let us see what is our present status. What do we do? That is what Krishna is proposing. We should not think work is equal to result, and you should continue doing your work and not being attached to the result. And what happens if we don't do, and what we do, and what are the different consequences we are suffering because of the different consequences because of lack of understanding. Let us little discuss more in that area. So what happens is, if we what is in my control? In my control is my work. In my control is my action. In my control is my efforts. In my control is what I think. That is under my control. And what are the factors which are under not my control? So Krishna is saying the result is not under your control. The result is not under your control. Krishna is saying under your control is work, duty, work of the mind, work of the body, and work around yourself. That is your control. But what is not in our control? It is not under my control how the result will come, when the result will come, what will people think about that result, whether people will appreciate me, whether people will depreciate me, whether people will throw tomatoes at me, whether people garland me. That is not under my control, right? So sometime we may do the work of do our work and feel the result of appreciation will come, because even appreciation is one kind of a result. People are appreciating you. You're being respected is a one kind of a result. Your respect is one result of your activity. But sometimes people may not respect you. Sometimes people may not give the due credit what you have. So that is not under your control. Because so there are two sections clearly Krishna is defining here. The things which are under my control, which is my work, which is my thought process, which is how do I manage myself, which is how much I work upon myself and do activity from my own self. And the thing which are not under my control, the thing which are not under my control is result, appreciation, what people think of me, what are my surroundings like. That is the result of your activity. That is not under your control. The problem comes, we become attached to the things which are not under my control. Generally, what happens, we start thinking, okay, if I do this work, then result will come. I will have that particular thing in myself. Let me. So we start with have, because I want to have respect, because I want to have the money, because I want to have the relationship, because I want to have results. Result is more have, which you possess. We always start, oh, I want to have this, so then let me work. And sometime we see, oh, I'm not going to have it because that doesn't seem that I'm gaining it. Then we become discouraged, and then we give up our work, which was under my control. So by focusing on something which is not under my control, we lose the grip what was actually in my control. And if we lose the grip in what was actually in your control, we lose the battle even before starting it. We lose the battle even before starting it. So now if the energy is going only things which are not under my control, then there is no energy left for me to work which are under my control, which is under my control. Isn't it? So technically what we can call it as, we can have area of influence and area of concern. Area of influence, the thing which I can influence. What can I influence? I can influence my work. I can influence my thought process. I can influence my situations. I can influence my bodily situation. I can influence how much, what do I think about people, what do I think about myself. There's an area which we can influence, and there's an area of concern. Yeah, it is my concern that I should have result, but that is not your area of influence. And because it is not my area of influence, we end up mismatching, and it becomes very haphazard. It becomes very misdirected. Your effort is completely misdirected. And for example, if you think, okay, I will be appreciated when I work hard, so your validation, your appreciation, your encouragement is based upon somebody else. Your encouragement is based upon how will people think about me. Then they may not think, that is not under your control. They may think you are trash. They may think you are a good for nothing. They may think you are a useless person. But does it make me that? No, it doesn't make me that. People will simply project what they are onto me. It is not my reflection, it is their projection. My reflection means I can see myself in the mirror. That is how I look. That is what reality is. But when people project themselves onto you, that is not your reality. So let people keep thinking whatever they are thinking, which is like, which is not under my control. Krishna is saying the result is not under your control. And that is one type of a result, more subtle result, appreciation in people's mind. If encouragement is coming from within me, oh, Krishna is saying you should do your duty, you should work for me. Yeah, then if Krishna is asking me to work for him and not really worried about the result, then he's encouraging me. If Krishna is encouraging me, Krishna knows you can do it. If Krishna knows you can do your prescribed duties, then I'm Krishna is really reflecting me. If Krishna is really reflecting me, and Krishna is really encouraging me, appreciating me, and pushing me to do my prescribed duties, especially my duties towards in relationship with Krishna, then result come doesn't really matter because you are already satisfied. You have already enjoyed being Krishna's servant, being encouraged by Krishna, appreciated by Krishna, loved by Krishna. Then the process becomes very joyful. And if the process is very joyful, then result doesn't come is immaterial actually. So let's say you have been given result directly without enjoying the process, without enjoying Krishna's reciprocation, without encouragement from Krishna. You have been just given the results in your hand. There is no enjoyment there. There is no fun there. You will just have it. And having enjoyment is just for that moment when you have it. But being enjoyment and doing enjoyment is for the considerable time period of time. It is continuous. So real joy does not comes from having certain things. The real joy comes by being Krishna's servant. The real joy comes by the real joy comes by being in the process of serving Krishna and enjoying Krishna's reciprocation. That is what real pleasure of life is. But we consume ourselves into something which is not under my control. What is not under our control? What people think of me is not under my control. What my husband, what my wife is going to speak about me, it is not under my control. Defaults to the current date. Next, we have the disposition section, which includes your length of stay, GMLOS, your current. So, what I was saying is that if we consume ourselves in the thing which are not under my control, what people think of me, what my husband think of me, what my wife think of me, let them think. That is not none of your business. You should be worried what Krishna thinks of you. And if you're doing Krishna's work, Krishna thinks wonderfully about you. That what really matters, what Krishna think of us. And Krishna is inspiring us, Krishna is motivating us. So redirecting our energy into something which we can control, which is my work and on myself, which is to change my own thought process, which is to change my own perceptions, which is to change. See, you cannot change the fruits unless you work on its root. The fruit we all want to enjoy, but nobody wants to work on the roots. And that's the most powerful, joyful, and most important process. So when root is our heart is root of all happiness. It is in the heart we feel happiness. It is heart we feel joy. It is in the heart we feel the contentment and the satisfaction. It is if it is something within the heart you're looking for, happiness, contentment, blissfulness, and you want to become happy, you want to become satisfied, you want to become valuable, you want to become worthy, you want to become enough. That is all become. Where does it originates and lies and enjoyed at? In the heart. So thing doesn't go from outside to inside. Okay, if I have something which is outside me, will go inside me and make me happy. It doesn't happen that way. It is never outside to in, it is inside to outside process always. It is never okay. If you have a fruit, then you will have a tree which is very deeply connected to the roots. No, it is by having a deeply connected rooted tree will give you fruits, right? So that's very important, and that's very important that where we should focus our energy on, and that's a success and the happiness formula. And if you work in that particular mood, in that particular situation, in that particular way of being, then surely and shortly you will be happy, which is the purpose of life. The purpose of life is really not to have anything in our life, because something, if the purpose of the life is to have, very beautiful quote I was hearing, that money is just a number, right? What is money? Money is just a number in the bank account, how much it reflects. And if money is about number and number keeps increasing, number keeps changing, if you think your happiness is dependent on the money, you will never be happy because it keeps changing. If you get $100,000, you will get an excitement. Ah, such a nice it is. I'm sure the next $100,000 will not give you same amount of happiness. For that, you need to earn the next $1 million to be able to get same kick as you got by having $100,000. You can experience it. If let's say some billionaires, do you think they become similarly happy when they get their billion dollar keep increasing their account? No, they don't feel similarly happy when they got their first $1 billion. Somebody was telling me in India, I was speaking to somebody, they said that first crore when I earned, it was such a happy and joyful state. That is, after 2 years, I collected 1 crores. But now every month I keep getting 1 crore, but it doesn't give me same happiness anymore. For that, now if I have to have same happiness, it has to be about 100 crores now. The bar keep increasing. It is about everything what we want to have from outside. So the supply of happiness from outside is never constant, it keeps fluctuating. And if we depend on something outside us to makes us feel happy, makes us feel connected, makes us feel blissful, then we are destined to never be happy. It's a very revolutionary idea. We can never be happy if it depends on something outside us, because outside us everything is exhaustible, it will end at one point of time. But inside us, because I am as a spirit soul is inexhaustible, me as a spirit soul is eternal, me as a spirit soul can never die, me as a spirit soul will never exhaust and will never perish. Similarly, my happiness connected to soul will never perish, will never get exhausted, will can never be killed by time. So that is what Krishna is trying to say here. So focus on things what you can control and let go of the thing what you cannot control. To the beautiful serenity prayer which says, my dear Lord, please bless me with the serenity to accept thing what I cannot change. Something I cannot change. So bless me with the serenity to accept thing what I cannot change. And also please bless me with the strength to change things what I can change. Because there are something which we can change. But we don't have strength because we are losing all our strength in resisting things which I cannot change. All the energy is consumed in changing the what I cannot change, so there is nothing left. So first step is withdraw my energy, reclaim my energy from things which I'm trying to resist, and then put all my energy into the things which I can change, which is under my control. My perception is under my control. My thinking is under my control. What I'm intaking is under my control. What I'm thinking about myself is under my control. How much I'm chanting Krishna's name, that is under my control. How much I'm trying to develop the knowledge of Gita, that is under my control. How much I'm trying to serve Krishna, that is under my control. And also, the beautiful prayer says, also, sometimes we cannot distinguish what is under my control and what is not under my control. He says, please bless me with the wisdom to differentiate between the two. I'll put that quote for you. So, to also give us the wisdom to give us the wisdom to differentiate what we cannot change. So, the energy should be reclaimed back by accepting things what I cannot change, which is outside my influence, which is not in my influence area, which is a concern area. And then I should put strength, I should put courage, I should have courage to be able to put my efforts on the things which I can control. And we should have that wisdom, that differentiating factor which Krishna blesses us. So that is how we can understand this verse is trying to help us reclaiming our energy, make us more happy, make us more content, and get completely independent in the pursuit of our happiness from anything external. External will exhaust, and internal will always remain. So we'll conclude here with this session. Anybody have any doubts, any questions? Anybody would like to share anything, comment anything? You're open to that.
Uh, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
There is like, that no matter how much I resist, no matter how much I try my best to do everything nicely, but still I'm struggling a lot. And I am kind of yesterday, like, just like,